I hope that President Trump and Putin can actually do something that doesn't end with a lot of us being vaporized. But after the joint press conference today, following their closed-door meeting, let's just say I'm not real optimistic. Both leaders brought up the fact that President Trump addressed Russia's meddling with the election. Here's what President Trump said on how that went.
During today's meeting, I addressed directly with President Putin the issue of Russian interference in our elections. I felt this was a message best delivered in person. Spent a great deal of time talking about it. And President Putin may very well want to address it, and very strongly, because he feels very strongly about it, and he has an interesting idea.
An interesting idea. He's got an idea. Yeah, his idea is, how do I make myself look like I didn't do it? That's his idea. Every single U.S. intelligence agency is in agreement. Russia was engaged in active measures to meddle with our election. It has nothing to do with you, Donald Trump. Nothing. That's what I'm going to talk about in about 5 minutes from now. But the fact that they meddled is undisputed. And when asked if he trusted Putin over the U.S. intelligence, this is what our president said.
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. And what he did is an incredible offer. He offered to have the people working on the case come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people. I think that's an incredible offer.
Okay. All right. Extremely strong and powerful in his denial. A little like I looked into his soul. I don't care what Putin said behind the closed door, but when it comes to believing the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency and the NSA and the FBI and everybody else, I'm going to take their word over Putin's every day and twice on Sunday, maybe even 3 times. And what the president was referring at the end of that video, the offer Putin to allow the indicted Russians to be questioned, came with a little caveat. Watch.
Then we would expect that the Americans would reciprocate, and they would question officials, including the officers of law enforcement and intelligence services of the United States, whom we believe who have something to do with illegal actions on the territory of Russia.
Oh, so in other words, you just give up your knock list, and then we'll give up ours. Oh my gosh. That's so ludicrous that Putin probably had a hard time getting through that answer without cracking up. Of course he's not going to give up his agents. His answer wasn't a friendly gesture. It was a snarky, veiled threat. "Yeah, sure, you do that, I'll do this." When Putin began his opening remarks today, he spoke of our future relationship. He said that the Cold War was over. The hostility between the countries was a thing of the past. He said the world had changed. It has. The circumstances back then have now changed. But the reality for Russia is exactly the same as it was then, now. So in the spirit of George Kennan's long telegram, here's my short telegram that I hope President Donald Trump will see. Dialogue is always good. Stop. Diplomacy is never best left off the table. Stop. The result of lost diplomacy is usually war. Stop. But, as shown by FDR, President Bush, President Obama, Hillary Clinton, Russia will always be Russia. For 1,000 years, Russia has followed the same psychotic, repetitive playbook, and it's all driven by paranoia and power. They rapidly expand their territory out of fear of invasion, and then they collapse on themselves. In the 1500s, the Russians conquered territory to save them from invasions by the Golden Horde. Wow, what a nice name. They were invaded again by Napoleon in the 1800s. They collapsed on themselves during World War I, invaded by Hitler, expanded after World War II, collapsed on themselves at the fall of Soviet Union. It's been one strong man after the next that picks up the mantle and restarts the Russian conquest. Their leaders literally have no choice. They either push their borders out as far as they can, or they risk invasion by a hostile force. It doesn't matter what Putin or any other Russian leader says to our leaders behind closed doors. He's bound by those same geopolitical realities. We are now witnessing a new Russian expansion, and President Trump, you have to figure out how to weather the storm, and you only made the storm worse today.